Now on to video interviews. So in this digital age, you're likely to find yourself in front of a webcam sooner or later. According to Gartner, 86% of companies are now doing job interviews online. Thanks to the global pandemic, partly people have got used to remote working. And it also means that if they're willing to hire from a remote working point of view, they can actually widen their net of candidates from outside their own local location. So video calls and video interviews are becoming quite common. Hi, Udemy instructor Michael James here. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to point out that if you're enjoying this video and this playlist, you can get the entire course at a discount with the link in the description below this video. You can buy it on learnmanagementonline.com and also find some really cool bundles for a really good price on that site as well. Or you can go direct to Udemy and buy it there. You can search for Michael James or just use the link in the description below the video. With that said, thanks for watching this video and happy learning. So the first thing is to make sure that your tech game is strong. You don't want any complications with your technology. That's just going to put more stress on you and put you off on a bad start. So you want to make sure that your technology is working. We'll have a look at this in a bit. You also want to choose a clean background and you also want to dress the part. Make sure that you are head to toe looking professional. Yes, even if you are going to be seen from the waist up, it will make a difference to how you feel about yourself if you fully dress. And if you do have to stand up to get something, then you won't be caught out. So no interviews with just a shirt and no trousers. Maintain eye contact as well with the camera. So although you're looking at the screen and you're seeing them, do remember that it's the camera that is the window into what they see. And make sure that you try and keep those fidgeting and fidgets in check. Remember the body language lecture that we talked about. You want to make sure that you are sat upright and confident. Now, you might want to do a trial run with a friend, and that can save you from any last-minute tech hiccups. So conduct a thorough equipment check well in advance of the interview. You want to test your webcam, your microphone, your internet connection, and make sure everything is working in order. Familiarize yourself with the video conferencing platform that you'll be using to minimize any technical glitches. So another thing about this is if you have to install a new piece of software to do your video call, then you might want to make sure that it has access to your microphone and your camera. Sometimes it will say, I want access to it. You will click OK, and then it will request a restart of the system of the PC in order to actually make that work. So you don't want to be caught out by downloading a piece of software at the last minute, then clicking yes, enable microphone, and then it says restart the PC for it to work. That's just going to be clunky and take time. Make sure all of this is set up well in advance and test it with a friend to make sure that your audio quality and video quality is okay. Next, choose your background wisely. Opt for a neutral or professional backdrop that won't distract from your conversation. Try and avoid any busy patterns or cluttered spaces or silly little toys that you might have in the background, little ornaments and things like that, that might not give off a professional image or might distract the interviewer by looking behind your shoulder at what you've got on your shelves rather than listening to what you've got to say. All of that might detract from your presence on screen. So it's clearly popular to have a bookcase in the background. You see this a lot on TV and news and things like that when people are being interviewed. So if you do have a bookcase behind you, just be mindful of what books you've got on display. You don't want anything that might be off-putting on your book cabinet. So make sure that you do have a look at what's on display in the background before going ahead with your interview. Alternatively, you can use a professional background, which is often provided by the video call platform, which is kind of like a green screen, but it just has a professional looking background behind you, like an office or something like that. And make sure somebody is looking after the kids and the dog, and you've got that sign up on the door that says, please be quiet and don't interrupt me. I'm in the middle of an important interview. You don't want to be this guy.
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me.
That's right.
My apologies.
What's this going to mean for the region?
My apologies. Sorry.
Okay, next, dress appropriately. While it may be tempting to dress casually when interviewing from home, resist the urge. Dress as you would for an in-person interview if you are actually going to that company to see them. You want to convey professionalism and respect for the opportunity that they're giving you. Of course, some positions and cultures will have different expectations, but if you're in doubt, err on the side of caution and try and dress smarter. Next, maintain eye contact. Now, it may feel unnatural to look into the camera instead of the interviewer's face, which is on screen, but just realize that it's the camera which is the window into what they're seeing. And giving a look into the camera every now and again will help to establish a connection that demonstrates confidence and engagement. They'll feel like you are holding eye contact with them if you look into the camera. So do remember that the camera is the window into what they see, and give it a glance from time to time, which helps in making them feel like you're addressing them. Next is testing the audio and visuals. So you want to conduct a trial run with a friend to make sure that your audio and visual quality are up to par. Paying attention to lighting and camera angles and background noise to ensure a polished and professional appearance. Now, lighting is really important. It doesn't matter how good your webcam is. If you haven't got good lighting that's facing you, then you're not going to get great video quality. If you've got a lot of light behind you, you're going to have a silhouette effect where all they will see from you is a shadow. So try and get the lighting right. Test it beforehand, of course. What you want is the lighting pointing towards you rather than coming from a different angle. You also want to consider background noise, of course, and you want to make sure that your mic is very clear. Now, you might want to get closer to the mic rather than further away, because the closer you are, the better they can hear you. I'm going to demonstrate this like this. If I'm over here talking like this, it's less audible. But if I'm over the mic like this, then it's a lot more audible. So just bear in mind where your mic is. And if you need to get a bit closer to it to make the clarity better, then consider doing that. Audio is actually more important than the visuals. It's a lot more important, in fact, because if they can't hear you, then it's going to be really difficult for them to have a conversation with you. And it's going to be really difficult for them to understand what skills and experience you've got to bring to the table, because if they can see you but not hear you, they're not going to get that message across. Audio is actually more important than the visuals. It's a lot more important, in fact. Audio is actually more important than the visuals. It's a lot more important, in fact. So absolutely make sure that your audio is clear and loud, and make sure that you're in a quiet room free of distractions. You don't want awful coffee shop background noise distracting them and making it hard for them to hear you. You want them to be able to hear you clearly so you can sell your strengths.